You have millions of steps, you have millions of things to understand. You need to understand your business, you need to understand your team, you need to understand the market, you need to understand your candidates. There's so many layers and layers of skills that are needed to be a good recruiter. We're looking for people that do things differently. It's not just problem-solving skills, it's like they need to be happy to solve difficult problems. If your job as a recruiter is to send CVs, just send CVs with a little presentation, you should be a little bit worried.
Okay, champs, today is another episode and I'm very excited about this. Why? Because we're going to have a conversation with Amira from ADC Consulting. She is an amazing and experienced TA leader. Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Amira Mahfoudhi. I am in charge of recruitment at ADC Consulting. I have been a recruiter for 12 years and also have my little wine import business on the side.
You left Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, to start importing the wines.
Exactly. The project was not working. It was a little like, it was not working between Netflix and I. The good thing with Netflix is like when they let you leave, they give you a good bonus. So I'm left with my bonus. And the wine was always in the back of my mind. I'm French, I grew up in France. There's always wine on the table. But I was like, okay, for once, after working since I'm 16 years old to now, I have a little bit of time. And I was like, let me just try and work a little bit on my wine knowledge. And so I did some training courses, which are called the WSCT. And I was curious. And then a friend of mine had two wine bars at the time and one wine shop. And she was like, well, do you want to maybe do something together? And then I was like, yeah, but I would love to do wine import. And she's like, well, you take care of the shops, I take care of the restaurants, and we do the wine import together. I really enjoy recruiting people. I think it's the happiest of HR possible way, right? Like you find a job to people and then they're happy.
I guess. Always works. Okay, Amira.
Yeah.
You touched something very sensitive for the whole recruitment industry. You said the perception of being underdog.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about it?
So for me, I always feel like or at least I felt like this because I feel like this is changing a lot, right? Like I think that with the new TA way of working, and there's a lot of people that changing the momentum. But I feel like the recruitment team was always, and not TA, right? Like recruitment team was always I just send them this and they will send CVs. There's maybe like in people and culture something a little bit more noble into solving big problems, working on compensation, working on projects. But for me, at least when I started, the recruitment team was always seen as they're just going to find CVs. They're just going to post a job and find CVs, and that's it. It's not that complicated. Yeah. So it is difficult to make people understand how actually interesting and difficult this job is, because before finding that CV, you have millions of steps, you have millions of things to understand. You need to understand your business, you need to understand your team, you need to understand the market, you need to understand your candidates, you need to make sure the projects and both projects are lining up. You need to understand compensation, you need to understand negotiation. There's so many layers and layers of skills that are needed to be a good recruiter. That for me it makes us the underdog, because people just tend to think, specifically when people think that they can do them themselves. For me, this is the best thing. Like so many startups are like, it's fine, I'll just put something on LinkedIn and I'm going to get CVs and I can hire myself. And then the problem starts because they didn't have the right conversation, they didn't have all of this, and then they're like, oh, maybe we need a recruiter now. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is changing, but for me, recruitment has been seen as, it's not that complicated, because yes, we're not building rocket ships. But at the end of the day, there's so many factors that you need to take into account that it makes it difficult, even though it looks very easy.
Okay. But the business executive, in many cases, they would still treat it as a cost center and something very replaceable.
Very good example. Very good example. It's like a recruiter we can hire someone externally, and then they need to start paying the agencies, and they realize how expensive it is, and they're like, oh, maybe now we need to keep them internally. But that's a very good example. Like, I think what excites me also at ADC is that on top of my daily recruitment work, I have a lot of projects, but I also work closely with our clients, for example. I help our clients in working into their recruitment process and everything. So my management here doesn't see me as a cost center, but they see me as a potential of maybe selling some TA solutions to our clients at some point. Mm-hmm. But it's true, like we are we are seen mainly as, we can make that cheaper, we can find another solution, AI is coming in, so why do we need recruiters, and all of this.
Can you give a piece of advice to head of TAs or even the recruitment teams out there who are struggling to really showcase themselves?
So I don't like to give advice. I will just give my experience because everyone lives in their own reality, right? I think what works here, or at least what works for me and how I want to work and how I want my team to work, is that we are not just CV pushers. And part of how I want to build the function is that we have projects on one side and we have recruitment on another. And for me, this is what makes it TA. So, and to make this happen, it's not just me owning the cool projects and then leaving my team handling the rest. Everyone has their own projects. So that sense of ownership is for me very important, and this is what makes a good TA team a good TA team, right? Like it's coming in with new processes, new ideas, building a freelancer pool, working on lots of different things. And with bringing something like that, you become a business partner. And I know it's a big term that everybody loves, but you really become a business partner, or even like a talent partner more than a business partner, because you can find any solution anywhere. And for me, how I look at their performance, it's recruitment is part of one thing, but also projects are part of the other. So they need to, when we look at performance review, it's the moment right now. I look at both and what they have accomplished in both, and not just on one thing. So I would say give space to be able to own something else than just the recruitment thing.
Okay.
And make it part of the successful story of the TA team.
Thank you. And now going back to the thing you already touched, we said you've been part of the tech trinity, or the big tech tour, whatever we call it. And I think not everyone has this chance, and you were privileged enough to actually be part and strategic part of all these companies. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what you learned maybe from each company and you're still using today?
Well, that's a very good question. I think from Uber, because that was the first one, I learned experimentation. I learned the let's do things, let's try, let's really for me, I like to think of what we do today here is also like we're kind of working as a product team. We'll try some things. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe the tool doesn't work, or maybe this new process doesn't work. But and this I think comes from Uber, where at least at the time, I haven't been there in a while now, but at least at the time, it was really that sense of let's see. Maybe it's not going to work, but we should really that experimentation part and that pushing and iteration and all of that. From Booking, I think it was more there was something very, very collective into what the culture was, and how do we make sure that we keep our culture. Specifically in the recruitment process, I was working for the executive recruitment team at the time. And everyone had their seat at the table into how to really push on the culture. So there was no cultural interview, because I really don't like that. So the culture was embedded into every step of the interviews, and everyone had to test how what the person would bring. And I think that really very proud culture of we are a .com company and we're just changing that. And I think that's a good one. And then Netflix, I think, is the ownership. I think Netflix tend to hire senior people that know what they're doing, and they're like, okay, this is the project, this is how I'm going to see it, this is how I'm going to see it through, and sharing, of course, with the others. But I always give this example. For me, is I remember seeing, I can't remember who it is now, but a very senior person passing by in the canteen, and there was few plates that were left, dirty plates from the lunch. No questions asked, they took the plate and they brought it back. I know it sounds a little silly, but this sense of okay, this is our company, we're going to make it the best product ever, we're going to make it the most important thing ever. So I would say that. And the good parties, because Netflix parties are legendary.
Okay, that's amazing. How you're using all of the things today at ATC?
I think we touched base a little bit on the ownership with Marta leading up, for example, the event stuff. On the experimentation, I think this is, again, we have a space within the TA team and within the PNC team in general for experimentation, where I don't want to be the manager that says, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I really want to have a moment where we're saying, okay, we see a problem, how do we solve it? Yeah. Who has an idea, who wants to take this over? Who has time, who is interested? One of the things, for example, is like I took on last year to work on the compensation benchmarking, which I don't think is that obvious for TA, right? Okay. But I thought it was very interesting because it would get me close to two things that are important to me, which is one, retention, because then we don't need to replace people, and then two, how attractive we are on the market, right? Like, so I've discovered a whole new world of compensation and benefits, which, to be honest, is a little scary, but very interesting. But that helps me in my daily life into being more of a talent partner again, and not just that. So that's one of the things: take on new challenge and trying new things. And then the culture is, I mean, you've seen the office, you've seen the people. It's for me, the culture at ADC is one of the most important because we have very smart people. We have lots of people that are PhD, very technical people. But everyone is absolutely lovely. There's no crazy egos compared to what I've seen before sometimes. And it's like within our interview process, for example, it's something that we push people to do. We are putting together interview trainings, and we're making sure that people know they have a voice, that they can talk. Like, you know, there's a tone and there's a voice that I want to make sure that ADC has, and this goes through that and through everyone.
Super cool. Can we touch a bit more on that?
Yep.
Because we went to ADC now.
Yeah.
And the ADC is all about the AI transformation. How hiring is different, specifically with the AI angle in it?
So, what makes my life very, very interesting, and not always easy, but very interesting at ADC, is that we hire people that have done things that maybe no one has ever done, or we hire people that will do things that we have no idea they will do. And so the technicality of things is very important. Like, we need very strong technicians. We hire people that come from academia, that come straight from PhDs, which means that it's also we need to help them, some of them, not all of them, but we need to help them to know how to navigate a client conversation or all of this kind of thing. So we need, when we hire people, we hire people that will be able to create those AI transformation, but that will also be able to guide our clients. Our new CEO, Emily, who joined in January, had a very good way of saying it. We had like a strategy day, and she was explaining to us that what she's seen in the first month is that we're trailblazers, we're wayfinders. And I really like that image, because it really feels like this. Like 6 months ago, we'd hire one specific set of skills. And today, with AI, with Claude, with like all of these kind of things, we don't like, the coding is important, but we have tools that can do that for us now. So this is not what is necessary today. We are looking for people that do things differently. So what are we looking for? And I'm not sure if I'm touching base exactly on the answer, but what I'm looking for is people that are thriving on difficult problems to solve. It's not just problem-solving skills. It's like they need to be happy to solve difficult problems. And the happiest I see the consultants is like when they're in front of a whiteboard writing some gibberish to me, because math is not my thing. But this is where. So that for me is key, and people that are excited also to kind of like take people with them. Like sometimes we speak with our clients and they're not really sure about what they want to do and how they want to do that. And we can translate their questions into a strategy and then into a scientific solution. And I think that this is what makes it exciting to recruit.
Give a promo about your company. A promo. If somebody's like just hearing about the ADC and they're like, okay, I'm very curious, what is this all about?
Let me think about that for a second. For me, it's about helping companies to create new things. It's not even about adapting to AI, or it's not even about like, you know, it's really creating new things. Like we do experimentation. Let's say that an airline that wants to create a new line between, I don't know, New York and Paris. Before they would need to, I don't know, build the line, see how it goes. We can create a full platform that can test all of this, and like from fuel to people to prices to all of that. We help people forecasting and to any business decisions. So I see, and again, it's very personal, but I see us as enabling people to be creative or companies to be creative into solving difficult problems, basically.
Okay. And obviously the ones who are interested in solving difficult problems, they are your candidates.
Exactly. See, it's a loop.
I love it. Okay. Is there any AI tool you implemented yourself in your process and it gives you really good outcome?
No, I think nothing out of the ordinary at the moment. We use obviously LinkedIn AI, we use some scheduling tools and all of this, but nothing really that stands out completely life-changing. I think we're still experimenting on this, in full honesty. We are a small but mighty TA team, but still small.
Lean by design.
And I think how I see it, at least, or how we've been discussing it, is like, for me, there's the difficulty is I don't want to get into the frenzy of like, oh, let's just try this, try that, in terms of like, oh, we'll just go with one. I'm happy to just like touch base here and there and see what we actually need and what we need in daily basis. Our recruitment life cycle is a wave. So sometimes when we need to hire fast and a lot, and then it slows down, etc. So we are looking into this at the moment. I think what we've done so far is the obvious, right? Like automate what is admin, so the scheduling and all of that. Upgrade a little bit the logistics, like how do we reach out to candidates, how do we find candidates and all of that. And then keep the people touch or the human touch to the close relationship with our hiring managers and our candidates. So the feedback and the closing and the negotiation and all of that. So this is our turf. I think there's still more to do in terms of sourcing specifically. I feel like for now we are just at the beginning of what we can do, specifically because we are also at the beginning of thinking about like what is our talent sourcing strategy, right? Like I think we are a company that cannot just do. We have a need, we're going to hire that people. We need to start working on partnerships. We need to start working on freelancing. We need to start working on all of this. So I think once we clear into how we find people, then we'll deep dive into the tools a little bit more, I think.
Because of all the AI transformation, obviously, and we keep getting this news every day that that company cut 10,000 jobs, that company cut 5,000 jobs. Do you think that recruiters should be worried about the future, that they can be replaced or cut?
So it's funny. It's a conversation that I have a lot with my fellow recruiters. So I think, I'm going to take the example of lawyers also, because I think it's also where I come from. But I think it's also very, it's very visible. If your job as a lawyer is to write contracts and translate that from one country to another, you might be worried because AI can write it quicker than you. If your job as a recruiter is to send CVs and just send CVs with a little presentation, you should be a little bit worried. However, I really don't believe that the recruitment function is there anymore already. I think we are all who have done this, even before the AI revolution. I think we all understand that the things that you need to keep close is negotiation, is intake meetings, is branding in general, not just job descriptions, but like really branding in general into how you present the company, is your candidate experience. I think I really believe that people choose people to work with before they choose the company. Some of them will choose bonuses or money, but I think you can convince anyone to work with you if they want to work with you. And this is for me the role of a recruiter. Is to be that first gatekeeper, that first point of contact, that person that also, after a long process, will give you a call and give you the tough feedback and give you the good feedback also, but like really have that relationship embedded. This, I don't think AI will get there. I think we will need maybe less people to do what we do. But I really believe we are on the right track. I tend to be a positive person, but I really believe that we are on the right track. We just need to use the right tools at the right moment. And I don't think we should be against AI, but I also think that it forces us to ramp up and to show up for the important things. I don't think AI can negotiate an offer yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I think this is going to be difficult. or I don't think that that an AI can push back on the hiring manager saying like, look at your team structure. If you hire another senior manager, it's not going to work. What you're missing is that kind of person, or what you're missing is this. All of these kind of things, we will have help from AI to do that, but these touch points, I think, will stay with us. Or maybe, I don't know, I'm naive, I don't know, but I hope.
I like it. It's not about the replacement, but it's more about using it as an extension of yours.
100%. 100%. I think there are many things like scheduling, like how many hours have we lost back in the day as recruiters to call people and be like, hey, so all of this I'm very happy to let go, so to be honest. But really focus on, like, we are, for me, as I said, like, I feel like, and specifically in consultancy, right? Like, if we don't hire the right people, we lose contracts, we lose projects. Yeah. So recruitment is in the heart of what I do and what we do here every day. And we have, I see it as an opportunity to really get close to the business, understand what's going on, be their window on the market. And there's so many things that we can do that is not just sending CVs that I find it exciting, actually.
Now, going back to recruitment.
Yes.
How is different hiring C-level from the PhD and all these great talents?
What do you mean, like C-levels?
Executives.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know how different it is. I think the alignment of the projects is even more important. I think how I see it is when you hire executive people, it's more a project to project rather than a candidate to company, right? Like, because they're going to shape so much the future of what your company is. So you need to assess, or you need to understand, maybe not even assess, but you need to understand where they want to go, how they want to do it. If they have a vision, you need to make sure that they understand the vision of the company, where we want to go, how we want to do it. And you need to make sure that these two things are parallel. So I think it's less about skills and more about plans and projects and vision. And also, I think when we hire here senior people, we want them to execute their plans. We're not looking for people that will come in and have a beautiful map of like how to do things and then just be like, okay, team, there you go, do it. We need people that are actually builders. We're still in that phase where it's not just about process planning, but it's really about this is the vision and this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it all together. Mm-hmm. So I would say this is for me the main difference, where we look less at skills and more at projects and vision.
Okay, and how to source those people? Because they're not searching for the job usually.
Very good question. I mean, the classics, right? Like, I think the important. So I would say first, don't look down on posting it, because I've had in the past some very good candidates that actually applied to the role. And I think it's something that people tend to fire upon, of saying like, oh, it's exec, so we're not going to post it. I think honestly, fire from wherever you can, right? Then you live on LinkedIn, day, night, and breakfast and lunch and dinner. And I think the one thing that I also like to do is actually going back a little old school and having a look at mapping, market, understanding, really kind of like trying to understand who's who and who's where, and who are our competitors, who are maybe someone that has done these kind of things. So I have a very good team here that loves to source, and my whole team is like, I always feel like I have a lot of arms around there. So industry events, speakers, keynotes, all of this. And today we have a lot of people, we are a good example of that. We have a lot of people that post a lot of interesting things on the internet. So spending time and really trying to identify who's out there and who would bring what. I think this is where this is where we go.
You've seen everything in the recruitment so far.
Don't tell me that, I feel old.
No, but I think you have a very unique and rich experience. That's true, Amira. Well done on that.
Thank you.
What is the one thing which you disagree with the whole TA folks out there? And they think that it's efficient, they think that it's still good to do.
Oh, maybe the splitting of the TA function, like having sources on one side, recruiters on the other, Even back in the day, we used to have coordinators. Like I think, don't get me wrong. I think sometimes you need a sourcer, specifically in exec. You need some people that are going to find the right person and know where to find them, and maybe have the ideas that you don't have and the creativity you don't have. But I think the best recruiters I know, or the best TA people that I know, still have a little bit of a hand or a toe in everything. Like even some of the best TA directors I've ever had in my life, they would still keep 1 or 2 recs or 1 or 2 jobs that they will source, because you need to know what's happening. You need to know how to talk about your company. You need to, and if you don't have an overview of the whole recruitment process and everything that we do, I think you're lacking a little bit of like what your teams are, what's happening in your team, maybe some insight on the market, maybe how your company's seen, maybe some important DEI notions, maybe some employer branding. So there's a lot of for me, there's a lot of benefits to keep your hands a little dirty.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Still be hands-on on things.
Yeah, I think, and specifically sourcing, because it's I would say that the more you grow into the role, the more you focus on stakeholders management and maybe a little bit of a candidate experience if you're really in both sides, but getting that little bite into, okay, let me go on whatever tool and like really try and find and identify the role and translate the KPIs that I have into someone. I think that's an exercise that we should all keep always.
We're gonna ask Amira
Yeah.
to share a piece of advice
Ooh.
with the young recruiter who is watching us.
Okay.
And they have no idea, because with all this AI thingy, they don't know, like, should I be a generalist? Should I go somewhere very niche? What would be the piece of advice you can give them?
I would say that you need to start somewhere. And I started as a legal recruiter. I'm a tech recruiter today. I've done exec recruitment. I've done BD recruitment, but I started as a legal recruiter. And like choosing one path helped me grow actually quicker, I feel, than maybe generalists. So I would say this, like, it will give you a little bit more certainty into focusing into 1 or 2 markets, into 1 or 2 kind of candidates. So that's my story. I don't know if it's transposable, but this is where I think it was easier in a certain way for me. I've branched out since then. The first branching out was not that easy, believe me, because when you're so used to one market, one type of candidate, getting out of there is more difficult. But I would do that. I would focus and really build credibility and story and knowledge onto 1 market or 2, and then spread out.
So be focused on.
Again,
yeah.
This is where I come from. Maybe there's other stories, but I would say that. And I think maybe the main thing is just be curious. I think the superpower of recruiters is curiosity. For me, this is it. Like the moment you start having assumptions and not be curious about what you do, then it means, you're not going to be good at interviewing, you're not going to be good at advising. So just scratch the surface is what gets me excited.
I keep getting the feeling that this is the main quality of the recruiter.
Yeah.
Be curious.
Be curious,
always,
100%.
And stay curious always.
100%. 100%.
Okay. We still have 1 game to play.
Okay.
And I would love to actually show 1 amazing view you also have from the office.
Let's do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just like, and you're here, so that's good.
Oh man. Amira, we're gonna play the game. It's a very classic game, rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
You count and you need to win 3 times.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
1-0. Okay, it's getting somewhere. That was a pleasure.
Well done.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done.
But the merch is coming anyways.
Thank you. I love that.
Thanks for having us, and I think we enjoyed a lot, and hopefully everybody will enjoy watching this as well.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me also. It was super interesting. You made me talk a lot, so hope
And now
it's
you're
okay.
comfortable with this as well.
No, I'm not. I mean, just to go in.